Welcome back to WKIM Media Network, and I'm Marcia Jews, your host, and we are so excited. We've had a full show today, and our next guest is Terrence TYKEEM, the multi-talented and socially conscious. Terrence TYKEEM is an author, a filmmaker, a TV show producer and director, plus a recording artist. Many may remember him from his late 90s hit single, If You Can't Learn to Love Her, which dealt with the issue of spousal abuse and received national attention on TV and radio. Shortly after, on the field injury deterred him from pursuing a lifelong dream of playing in the NFL. Terrence quickly turned his disappointment into a new business venture and started Top Flight Records, where he learned the ins and outs of the music industry, signed a number of groups, and financed and promoted concerts with some of the top acts in the music business. Throughout his music tenure, Terrence has landed several recording deals with major distributors and labels such as ND 125th Street Records, where he was signed by legendary hip-hop artists Eric B. and Brandon Records, which was distributed by Warner Brothers. Outside of his own musical endeavors, Terrence assisted in the signing of NAAM Brigade to Elektra Records, an R&B group Unplugged to Cash Money Records. Terrence also participated in the Cash Money Rough Rider tours and the Paid in Full tour. He has produced several TV shows, which gains the interest of BET and VH1 and others. His first TV show, called The Players Club, whose name was sold to rapper-director Ice Cube for his first feature film of the same name, has given him the confidence to go further in the film and television industry. In 2002, he began his career as an author with his first published book, entitled More Than One Flavor, followed by Guilty by Reason of Arrest in 2013. The success of his follow-up book, entitled Touched, he was able to gain national notoriety, while it inspired him to produce his first film, also titled Touched. This film is a companion project to the book and is designed to educate the public and shed light to the pandemic of child abuse here and around the world. Though not releasing Touched in he screened it in 22 cities. He followed that up with his film Jason's Letter, about a young boy's need to find a solution to the police shootings in his community after starring on the Starz network. It has since aired on most digital outlets, Amazon, Hulu, and will air on the Showtime network later in the summer of 2022. As that film continues to air, he has since released the film When George Got Murdered, which takes a unique look at the killing of George Floyd and the effects his death has had on America and beyond. Terrence currently has several other completed projects, namely 2 reality shows, Confronted and Behind the Mix, for which he is in talks with several TV networks. A TV ad he developed for Doritos is now being revamped for the Tostitos brand. Lastly, his next film, entitled Abused, is nearly completed and is in post-production, and we will be ready for the winter of 2023 release. It is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Terrence TYKEEM. Hello.
Wow, you actually read all of that.
I read it.
Yeah,
And,
usually they go through a little bit of it, but oh my God, you did all this stuff.
you know what? I used to do that little light and airy, oh, he's done this, and then you let it go.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
for the people who look at our newsletter, because we have a weekly newsletter that has all of
mhm,
this information in it and your
yeah.
photo and all that,
Okay,
that's one thing. But the people who are watching, they don't have all that information,
right, that's
right?
right.
Unless they're subscribing. And I think that it's worth the couple minutes that it took to read it.
Mm.
So
You would
people
think,
who we're interviewing and why we wanted to interview you and why this interview was so important to us,
okay,
right?
yeah,
And that
sure.
that is important because your body of work is critical. You've been out in the trenches, you've been working hard and changing the landscape of film, that film industry.
Hmm. For sure.
Tell us how we got there. How did you get here? What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were a little boy?
Well,
How did you see yourself?
football was mainly my primary goal, you know. But and I was pretty successful. Like I walked on at University of Georgia, made the team, and then stayed for a few seasons and stuff. And then I left, and then I walked on for the Atlanta Falcons, and I made the team. So I made like the fact that I made the team was a beautiful thing. But then I played in all 4 games and tore my shoulder in the fourth game, and I never saw the field during the regular season. So it really, I went through like maybe like a year and a half, almost 2 year depression as a result of that. Because to make it to the NFL and then to have it just fall apart before it really even get started was just like it really it was extremely depression. And that period was a rough period for me. Then I got back into the music, and I've been doing several projects over a course of maybe 10 years. And one of my records, the one you mentioned, "If You Can't Learn to Love Her," if a man has to hit a woman, it was about spousal abuse, and it really did well around the country. And it allowed me to get on these male extravaganza tours that they did. It was Usher, Joe, and Chico DeBarge, and I was one of the ones on there. So then I made a lot more noise because that record started getting added to BET. Back then they had the box. It was on the box nationally, and it got added to about 32 stations in about 28 markets around the country. So
That's huge.
yeah, so it had me doing a lot of things. But then right after that, I signed this deal with Warner Brothers, Brandon Records, that was distributed through Warner Brothers, and they just really sat me around for almost 5 years, and it made me lose the love to want to do music. And then I just dropped out, and I just started doing the film and TV stuff. And since then, I haven't really done any music. This song that I'm doing with Angie Stone now is really my first rec. Well, I did it one other song from the Touch film called Touched. It was kind of help promote the book and the film, but I never put the film out. But this is my first real record and like foray back into the music industry, which is this "Don't Give Up" record, and it's thanks to Angie Stone. Angie is one of the actors in my new film, Abused. And when Angie was on the set, I said, "Angie, listen, I'm working with a singer. I want to have a song on the soundtrack." I said, "Just how much would you charge me to also be on the song?" And she said, "Well, let me hear the song." I let her hear the song. She said, "Listen to me, baby." She said, "You know, I did my research on you before I came to do your film." She said, "So, and I already know that you sang. She said, so if you want me to do this song, she said, you got to sing on it with me." So when Angie said I had to sing on the song with her, that's how I ended up doing the song. But for my first record to be with a Grammy winner like Angie Stone after all these years of me not doing music, it's a beautiful thing. So, and I've done so much. Like I said, by me playing in the NFL and having that end, and then ended up doing the music, and then getting signed to Warner Brothers and having that end, and now I'm doing this film and TV stuff, and now my films are distributed by major distributors and things like that. It's a beautiful thing.
That's huge.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
you know, and what we don't even realize is how important it is that you get validation after you come through
Yeah,
something, right?
yeah,
And for somebody like Angie to
yeah,
give you that green light, brother, that
yeah,
was
yeah,
serious,
yeah,
right?
for
That was
sure. Because
real.
yeah, because like I said, I wasn't like I was finished with music. That whole incident with Warner Brothers Records, man, really just like for me to make that kind of noise nationally, it was just kind of crazy for me to make that kind of noise and then to get signed to a major label and for them to just drop the ball. It just really it destroyed my love to want to sing. And but thankfully I was already working on some TV stuff, and I got right into the working on the TV project, the Players Club, and then some other projects I was working on. And I had another show that BET was about to pick up until Bob Johnson finished his deal with Viacom. And then I started doing the movies, and I put my first movie out, Touch. Well, I didn't put it out. We shot it, and we did all those screenings around the country. But my first movie was Jason's Letter with Vivica Fox. And
Wow.
Jason's Letter is still it's on every network right now. Actually, I think it's just 4 weeks ago, just started. It's on the Grio now as well, and it's on Showtime as well.
So, in looking at that, I mean, you've already demonstrated that you've got the infrastructure to handle all this, right?
Yeah.
And to make these kinds of moves. What is your short term and long term goal for all of this?
Well, my short term goal is just really keep completing projects
Mm,
over the short term, because the more project you create, it sustains you for the long term. So short term, you want to keep doing as many projects as you possibly can. So I'm doing that. But now that I see that, well, the way the industry is set up right now, you have to do more than just one thing.
Okay.
You can't just produce. You can't just act. You can't just write books. You can't just do music. So what I said, okay, I've done all of these things, so I'm going to continue to do all of these things. But I need to bring the music back into it. And thankfully, Angie gave me the platform and the outlet to be able to do that by like blessing this song with her incredible voice. And now the radio stations in several markets are starting to play the "Don't Give Up" record. And this December 3rd, we're having my first release party in New Jersey for the "Don't Give Up" record and everything. So Angie and I are going to perform it that night, and we're going to also shoot scene for the official music video that night.
So you are really busy. I'm loving this, and you
Yeah.
have a machine that's churning this out, man, for
Yeah.
real. You
Well,
don't
I'm the
have time to
machine.
even miss. You don't have time to even miss football. I don't know.
That's right. Yeah. But that was a long time ago. Like I'm too old to be playing football now, but but that was a long time ago. But like for me to make it there in my 20s and have that end like that, like I said, I went through like a 2 year depression over that. To just
Yeah,
make it that far and to have it just end like almost overnight. The only good thing about that, they had to pay me a nice amount of money because I signed a guaranteed contract. Well, it was somewhat guaranteed, but they still had to, I think I made close to $800,000 and I never played a regular season game. But that's
I
how I was
love
able,
it.
yeah, that's how I was able to buy my properties and things like that and do some of the things that I'm still able to sustain to this day, even though that was like 20 something years ago.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
But here's what the beautiful thing is that you had the wherewithal intellectually to be able to build.
Hmm.
You didn't take all that money and then just throw it away and just, go and
Yeah.
party and all the other foolishness, right? You were
Hmm.
able to build, you created the infrastructure to do
That's right.
whatever you want to do now. And I'm
Hmm.
certain that that has multiplied
Hmm.
beyond your even wildest imagine at this
Yeah.
point, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And,
go ahead.
no, and it's crazy because I I saw that it was a situation where as though I had to really think about what I was going to do like down the line, and that's what made me want to get some properties and turn them into rental because my rentals have sustained me for a long time. So that was the smartest thing I did.
Hmm. And you know what? I think what's so beautiful, and I want folks to be able to take these shows and the people that we interview and share with our young people, especially young Black brothers who are growing up. They don't know, they don't have a lot of role models. They don't know how to move, because it's a weave and bob as you start doing the life thing, right?
Yeah,
It's not,
yeah,
it ain't no joke.
that's right. A weaving bob is the perfect way to say it too, because listen, you bobbing and weaving through the mess, and then you got all of these people, these people in positions of power that's trying to hold you back. And then once you do get there, you have people that feel they need to put you in your place and don't want to let you get too big, like above yourself. So you got all that contend with, and being Black, it's like they hold us to such a higher account than they do everybody else. So you got to really watch your step and everything. And it's ridiculous, but it's
It's a
just part of what it
game.
is in America
It's
right now.
part of the game, man. It's the game.
Yeah.
You see all this gray hair. And the thing that we from
Yeah,
South Bend, Indiana,
that's right. Yeah, you see
okay,
that's right. You know what you had to do.
okay. Don't get it. That's a whole another that's a whole show. But
Yeah, but the way you wear it, it looks so fly. You got you got. It's almost like you make it seem like you did yours like that on purpose because it just looks so fly. It's just,
you are hilarious at 70.
yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, you do. Yeah, nobody would have believed that you were 70 unless you told them that. So,
Oh, I'm proud. Look, there are a whole bunch of people that 70 didn't make it that can
oh
stand
yeah,
here and sit
yeah.
down and talk about it. I'm going to talk
Mm.
about it. I'm going to say, shout out, yes, this is 70. See,
Yeah,
yeah, we're
it's a
going to
bunch of
do
them
this. We're
in a
going to do
circle that
this.
didn't make it.
Yeah.
Trust me.
And, I think the thing of it is that part of our challenge is that we as a people, and I can only speak for Black people, we as a people have to really understand that just because we're a little bit older and we've moved,
Hmm.
that's just some knowledge that we have, then that doesn't mean that we have to just rock.
Right. That's right.
The
That's
only
real.
other thing I'm gonna do is rock on that dance floor.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So it's it's funny because we spend so much time trying to get to where we want to get to, but when we get there, we don't really think about, okay, we got to figure out what we need to do to sustain it. And that's a lot of our problem. We don't do the kind of things that you want to do or that you need to do to sustain it once you're there. So I'm always focusing on sustaining,
Mm-hmm.
because that's why I'm doing all these projects, because I can bounce back to different projects, which helps me sustain whatever new project I'm doing. And that's been my key to doing what I've been doing this many years, is to keep on adding new things, but also adding them new to where you need to revamp some of the old stuff you did to bring it in, so you can let people know, listen, I've been doing this for a minute. Because I just told my friend the other day, if somebody says something to me, like once this pops off on a huge scale, which I'm knocking on the door now, if somebody says some crazy mess to me, like, oh my God, man, you got here quick. Listen, I might knock you upside your head, because this has not been no quick. This has been, listen, I got skin in this game. Trust
Mm-hmm.
and believe, I got plenty of skin in this game.
Mm-hmm. But there was an old saying back in the day, something, it's not that short trip that you're trying to, you're there for the long game.
That's right.
You're there for the long game.
That's right.
You could you could do a little scrimmage on that
Yeah,
football field, but you got to get to the other end
that's
to
right.
get to that field goal, brother. And
That's right.
that's life,
That's right. That's right.
right?
That's right.
Right? Because you just doing that little thing, a little happening right there, that little scrimmage ain't nothing.
It ain't nothing. That's right. It ain't nothing.
Right.
You got to get down there. You want, listen, field goal's cool, but you want to get in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? You want to get in
And
the end
that's the
zone.
term. I didn't know the term. I was saying the thing, but right, you got to
Oh,
get
okay.
to the end zone, right? And
Oh,
and
okay. Yeah.
and the end game is about making that touchdown. I know
That's
that
right.
word.
That's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's
That's
about getting when you
right. Making
in
a
game,
touchdown, getting in the end zone.
whatever.
That's
You
right.
got to get the
Right.
touchdown. I know that, and they're supposed to say,
Right.
"Yeah, I got it." And
That's right.
so, but that's the real deal, and that's life. That's life. And too often we don't have enough folks who look like us who are going to take the time to also empower and help develop our young people.
That's
They're
right.
looking at all this short stuff. You can go online, you can see something quick, you catch something on the corner of the end of a movie, but how can you sustain what you have, but also create the environment where the foundation is strong enough to take you
Mm-hmm.
to the next level? And
Mm-hmm.
you
That's right.
can't be playing around, and you need to be able to look and see who is around you.
Mm-hmm.
who
That's right.
who is around you. And I'm gonna say this, and it's really horrible, but that young, beautiful, intelligent young girl was murdered in Cabo by her friends.
That's crazy. It's insane. And the bad part about it is that, several of those people, she thought that she could trust them. And that's the crazy thing about it. It's always the people who are really close to you. That's the mistake that people make. And they trust people and let them get too close to them, and then realize, and really not just realize, they find out the hard way that you made a drastic mistake by letting these people get into your inner circle. And that's what happened to that girl, because that girl never would have believed, especially the one guy that she really thought that he would be her protector, and that he would really look out for her, but he's the one that really hung her out to dry.
Right. Literally.
Literally. I mean, like, yeah, literally. And it's like every time I think about that, man, I'll be like, damn, I mean, I can't believe that it was the people that was with her that really caused this girl to lose her life. It's like, it's insane.
But this is a story. It's not just a one-time story, as far
That's
as
right.
I'm
Right.
concerned.
That's
It
right.
is a story that is critical to the survival of our young people. And I'm gonna go move into what you're doing with this whole business about abuse.
Hmm. Yeah.
And the video that we received, it's in our newsletter. It went out with that.
Okay.
But that is a powerful conversation. And let's talk about abuse and what that means and why this was important.
Well, this is really important to me because, like, I'm one of them kids. I went through the foster care system, so, but I would thank God I was a street kid and I was able to fight it off. And me being able to fight it off is what really saved me, because it stopped these people from abusing me. And the fact that I was able to do that, it made me know that when I got to be an adult, I wanted to shine a light on it, because the abuse of women and children is like huge, especially children, man. And it's like, but those two things, of the abuse of women and children and social justice, are two things that I'm really passionate about. I'm extremely passionate about. So pointing to the abuse issue itself, it's important to me, and I make it a point to go the distance with that, with everything that I'm doing.
So can you talk about the project and what it means to you and what all it's about?
I'm getting ready to die. Let me talk and walk. Let me try to get my charger while I'm talking to you.
Okay.
The project itself is about people who are abused as children. Hold on.
Okay.
Hey,
So I'm going to, while he's doing that, I'm going to
do
go
you
online while he's doing that. And it's called Don't Give Up.
Yeah, one of the blocks. A block.
And it talks to women who are
Yeah, my phone
survivors
get down,
of
Monica. Hold on a second.
domestic violence. And so when we look at all that he's done to take it to bring this to a conversation is critical for us to be talking about it. There are a lot of people who go through these experiences, and we don't even realize how important it is that we pay attention to the people who are around us that are going through abuse. And far too often they're young people, old
Thanks. Oh,
people,
you say.
abuse,
Oh, you
an
just move an
abuser.
interview this thing down.
An abuser has
Yes, orange juice or apple juice.
no boundaries, no matter what we think. We have to deal with the fact that there are far too many who are going into shelters, women who are being abused, but there are also men who are being abused as well. And so the fact that he has created this program is really huge. And I think once he gets situated so we can get a little more energy in his phone, we'll be able to continue that discussion. I see
I'm
that.
good.
Okay, good. Thank you. So I I was talking about abuse and why it was important to create this video
Mhm.
and why you wanted to get that out there.
Well, just like I said, I'm one of them kids that I survived the whole foster care system. And by me surviving that, I wanted to be able to give people, I wanted to be a voice for people. Let me get this light. Okay, there you let me get this light from behind. Hold on. I think that's a little bit better.
Okay. Whatever works for you.
Yeah, that light right there. That light.
Yeah, it's reflecting
thanks a
off
lot.
of something. Good.
Yeah, I'm one of them kids who survived the foster care system, so it made me want to do more projects to focus on that subject matter. So that's what made me do this film and write the books that I've written and things like that. Because I want to bring attention to those issues. Because all that stuff is really important to me. Because I still had those images of fighting off these predators, but then I saw so many people who weren't a street kid like I was, who couldn't fight that stuff off. So they had to be abused. And I always wanted to tell that story once I got older. So once I got older, I just started writing the books and telling these other stories that's focusing on that subject matter. And that's what's really important to me.
And so one of the things that we see in many of these cities, we don't have enough people going into the schools having these, like you've created the video and whatever, and the programming behind it, to be able to deploy these programs into the elementary and middle school areas when that's where the abuse really is being
Yeah,
handled,
yeah,
right?
that's what. Yeah. And
And
it's funny because I've done a bunch of school projects, whereas we focus on that. I've done a lot of school projects where we focus on that kind of stuff because that kind of stuff needs to happen. It's got to be taken to the schools first.
how have the schools received you and what you want to do with the program? Because I think your program, quite frankly, should be national. Because
Well, I've already done a bunch of national events, and because I'm going into different markets around the country, and that's the whole purpose of us using the song, the "Don't Give Up" record, as like a companion piece to focus on the abuse and the miseducation of people, just having people understand that no matter what it is you're going through, you can overcome it. And that's why we're using the song, and we're using it like as a teachable moment, which is why I'm really focusing on a lot of the schools and the colleges as well, because we
Mm.
want people to see that you can really use whatever you have to get to that next level. You don't got to take no for an answer, and we know there's going to be an obstacle in your way. That's what made me do the song and made me want to focus on it to this degree.
How are people receiving the song?
Like really well. Yeah, really well. So far, several stations have played the record, and each station has played the record. The first thing they said, "Oh my God, people are calling in about your song." Same thing with the guy down there in DC that just played. Was it WHUR? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he told Wyoming, "Oh my God, people calling." Same thing at WGCI in Chicago. I talked to Elroy and his people. He's like, "Yo, we got people calling about your record." I was like, "Wow, that's what's up." He's like, "Yeah, we played it one time, and people are calling them, asking about the song and want to hear it." And then you got people like, because since it's been playing on the different radio stations around the country, my numbers of on the video, the lyrics video that we have gone up like crazy. So it was at like 3,000 or 4,000. Now it's up like by 7,000 or 8,000 just after this past weekend when the songs first started getting played, but now it's starting to get played more. And now we're gonna start doing these shows around the country. And then, like I said, the release party is on December 3rd.
So if the song is part of the program for domestic violence, is that the video? YouTube? Okay, let me see if she can play a little bit. I don't know if she can or not, but that might be. Tanya, I'm gonna send you this link, and why can't I do this? Katanya, I can't send it for whatever reason. Trying to. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. If we could, is it possible to play a little bit of that? I just sent you the link. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Okay, so she's got it, so that's good.
Okay.
And yeah, so let's keep talking.
Yeah, that link that you have right there, that ad that we built around domestic violence and the abuse of women. I did that because like that's another thing that we have to overcome. So I wanted to focus on that because that's a huge issue really around the world right now. And I wanted to attach the song to that and let women know that no matter what you've been through, man, you can get yourself out of that. And once you're out of it, you know, you're strong enough to keep going and move forward. So that's been really important to me. So I made it a point to really focus on that subject matter a lot.
So I'm going to be very personal here. And my first husband was an abuser, and I was abused.
At least you made it. Listen, I'm just glad to know you made it out of that. Because
I did.
The bad part about it, Marsha, is that a lot of women are not making it out. They're not strong enough to make it out of the situation.
And you know, it was really deep because we were living in Conroe, Texas at that time, and Sandy was maybe 2. She was on my hip. And we left Conroe walking and hitchhiked to the Houston airport from Conroe, Texas. You got to go through Cut and Shoot to get to Conroe. And we hitchhiked all the way to the Houston airport where I called my daddy collect, and he bought a ticket. Flew me in.
Wait, y'all hitchhiked from where to where?
Conroe, Texas to Houston.
To when? I mean, from where to Conroe?
Conroe, Texas, at the house where I was living, to the Houston airport.
Oh, okay. I thought you. Okay, I was gonna say that's but even that's a long way. That's a that's a nice long.
And we were safe. Nobody attacked us or hurt us. We in Conroe, Texas. I'm saying that because it's just a little podunk. Like you got to go through Cut and Shoot to get to Conroe, Texas. So you can imagine where that was, and that was in the early 70s. So you know the thing that it was about is I'm not going to live like this. My daughter's not going to live like this. And
that's right.
We did that, and I called my daddy collect, and he said just stay right there. And he got a ticket, flew me into Chicago, and then he drove all the way to Chicago from South Bend and picked us up at the airport.
Wow, that's what's up. Oh, wow. Right. What year was that?
So like 70 something.
Oh wow! And you did that whole carrying your daughter the whole way.
On my hip.
Wow. Yeah. Well, see, you were a survivor.
No, I'm a survivor.
Yeah,
for
you one of
real.
those survivors that I'll be talking about in the record. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
because
mean,
it's not a joke.
that's right. It's
And
not.
you,
It's
and you
not,
have
man.
to make it's a life decision.
That's right.
And are
That's
you
right.
going to live like
Hmm.
this? And so, we can, they're different, and they're different kinds of abuse. There's the
That's right.
verbal abuse, there's the emotional abuse, there's the physical abuse. And
That's
so,
right.
when you sit down and you look at it, different people have different ways of showing you, or just or distributing that anger, that pain that they have. Something
Hmm.
happened
That's
for
right.
them to be that kind of individual,
Right.
and you don't even see it at the beginning. You think this is this wonderful person, but there's a little demon bug that's living inside there.
Right. You said
For
demon, but
real. Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
real.
it's
That's
crazy, man, because the
real.
thing about it is that they get caught up into that kind of stuff, and they realize after a while that the women are going to keep taking it. So it's up to the women really to find a way to get out of that. You like because men that do that, like as long as the women let them do that and just let they're going to keep taking it until they realize that okay, this is going to be about my life. Once you realize that it's about your life, that's
Period.
when you're going to put yourself out.
And
Bottom line.
it and Joshua picked me up and threw me into a glass coffee table, and my daughter
Woo.
saw me break that table.
Oh my God.
And it was the next day that we rolled out.
Mm, that's insane.
That's real. And that's
Wow, that's crazy.
abuse. That's
Yeah,
real
that's crazy.
abuse.
That's
But
crazy.
and there are different levels. And so you have to be straight up about what you are seeing. You
That's
can't
right.
have an expectation that this is going to be, oh, he's just angry today. No, that's who they are. That's part of their spirit. That little spirit man, that little demon spirit man,
That's right.
you can't pretend that away.
That's right.
You can't
That's
put
real.
little sunglasses on to protect that black eye. You can't, because when you take the glasses off, the black eye is still there, or
That's
the
right.
whatever. And so women have to be able to get strong enough and have the people around them that are strong enough to tell them that they need to change their lives.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's insane, man, because people know that they have to move forward, man. They just don't do the right things to move forward, man. But my whole purpose of doing these projects really is to give people give them that strength and that extra push.
But that's
Especially when you hear
huge,
where
Terrence.
yeah, of course, when you hear a man talking about issues like because women need to hear men talking about these kind of issues and giving them that push because they hear women talk about it all the time. But when you hear a man saying it, it just holds a lot more weight. That's why I like doing the projects that I do. And I focus on the subject matter because these subject matters that I'm focusing on, most people want to sweep it under the rug, but I'd be damned if I'm gonna sweep this kind of stuff under the rug because it's real.
Well, just know that I'm here to be that voice, that echoing voice, because
That's what
I've
I'm
lived
talking
it
about.
and survived it, right?
That's
And
what
when
I'm
I
talking about.
saw, I didn't say anything to anybody about it. When I saw it, the information that she sent to me, and she's wonderful. I I just said, okay, well, I'm just going to talk about it too, because
Yeah, that's right.
sometimes you need to see people that you would never expect, because I'm always
That's
laughing and
right.
talking but
That's
you
right.
had to come past that. You got to get
Yeah,
past that to be able to do what you need to do. It's
that's
not
right.
something that you can harbor.
And it's crazy because the thing about it is that if you don't get past it, it's gonna eat you up on the inside out. So
Yes.
you got to find a way to like get past it on your own because nobody's going to help you until you help yourself. And I tell people it all the time. You can sit there and complain about all the stuff you want to complain about, but until you decide to say, okay, this is enough, and I'm going to help myself, then I mean, how you gonna sit there and ask somebody else for help if you're not gonna do it yourself?
Right. Right.
It's real.
Hold on one second. Katanya, do you have the video that you're going to run, or I don't know if you can hear me or what we're doing? She's not. Hold on. Let me. Okay. I don't know what she's doing. Anyway, so what's next for you with this? What are you going to do with this video, and how do you see it being distributed?
Well, well, we have all the outlets. All of our like a lot of my friends are at the VH1. They were playing my last one, BET Soul. We have the outlets to get the video played, and just really it's just about marketing and promoting it. So we're gonna shoot the video. Right now, Clifton Powell has agreed to be in the video. Initially, Shirley Ralph was going to be in the video, but now she's
Mm.
she's on a whole. Ever since she won that Emmy, she kind of like, yeah. And what's so crazy is that when they agreed to do it, I was going to shoot it. I should have shot her part then before she won that Emmy because
Lesson
it would
learned.
have,
Lesson learned.
yeah, it would have helped us so much if we'd have went ahead and did
Right.
it then, but we didn't. And now we're just waiting to just get ready to get it shot now. But Clifton's still gonna be in it. I'm talking to what's the girl? She's gonna kill me. I forgot her name. Sharon Leo. Talking to Sharon Leo about playing the part that in the video that Shirley Ralph is gonna play.
Okay.
But Clifton is gonna be in a wheelchair, struggling to get himself up out of the wheelchair, and you're gonna see this man who hasn't walked in about 25 years walk as a result of watching the Don't Give Up video, watching the little clips and hearing the Don't Give Up song.
Oh,
It's
that's
gonna
deep.
Yes, yeah, this video is gonna hit hard. This video is going to hit really, really hard to where I'm gonna do this video in a way that people are not gonna be able to stop talking about it. It's
All
gonna
right.
it's gonna be
But
a
see,
beautiful.
I already know. I don't know you, but I know you, and I can tell that it's gonna be bigger than all of that
Yeah,
you can even
yeah.
imagine. I see she's got us set so that we can see
Okay.
the thing. So here she goes. So now I can't the sound, I guess we need to get the sound going. Katanya, we don't have the sound. Is there a way to get the sound going? I keep asking her that. She already knows that she got to get the
Yeah, she's probably trying to hit the link.
trying to make it trying to make it happen.
But yeah, but I like I said, I've been doing these projects for so long that I'm so used to doing this kind of stuff that it's like second nature right now for me doing projects that focus on social justice and abuse issues and things like that. I'm more comfortable talking about stuff that really affects other people's lives. So I don't mind people doing the projects that they do that focus on other things, but I like to focus on real life issues, things that I know that will resonate with a lot of people.
But this is huge, Terrence, because you've created this as a part of your life's mission,
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
right?
and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what it boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
Just really about focusing on things that really matter and telling stories that really matter. So and I'm gonna keep doing that because I love being a voice for people who don't have a voice. I love being a voice to be able to help people speak up who can't speak for themselves. I love being able to do that. It's part of my mission, and I know it's something that I was meant to do.
Well, and too often people receive that voice that tells them what they're supposed to do or the unction to do what they need to do, but they don't realize that they have that voice and they don't accept the challenge that the voice offers them, right?
That's right. That's right. That's real. That's real,
And
and it's crazy too. But because everybody got it in them, it's just a matter of whether or not you want to step up and do it.
and that's huge. And it sometimes takes away from what you're doing, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but you have to make a decision because too often there are far too many of us who are in the position where we don't have the voice, but there are people who want to lend us their voices sometimes too.
Yeah.
Like
There's a lot of
that's what
people like
you're doing. You're lending your voice for the unspeakable things that these
that. Right.
people are going through,
That's right.
right?
But I've always been the type of person that kind of to want to do that. So me doing it is just like second nature at this point. Especially me focusing on issues that other people won't talk about. I mean, to me, it's just like second nature at this point. It's not even like I don't even look at it as a thing where as though it's something that I want to do. I almost have to do it because it's like it's just in me. It's ingrained in me to want to do that and tell these kind of stories. So this stuff that I'm dealing with right now is just like it's almost like it's a part of who I am at this point.
hmm But I think too, if you look at all that you've gone through, because some of your life was no rainbow, right?
Oh, not oh my God. No, like I said, I went through the foster care system and the group homes, and my mom died when I was like 10, just getting ready to turn 11. And you know, like I said, we was just like my mom was an alcoholic. She was hooked on alcohol. So we was running around at 7, 8, 9, and 10 raising ourselves. You know, and so that's but the only thing about it is that even though that was tough for me, it made me stronger. And like I said, I was a street kid in every sense of the word. So when it came to me being, you know, being approached by all these predators, I was able to fight them off because I just wasn't having it. I was a street kid. But there was so many people who weren't like that, and I watched so many people get abused when I was younger. So I knew that once I got older, I wanted to be one of the ones to tell a story about this whole thing. So, and that's what I've been doing through my projects, telling the story about that, and telling the story about people who've been dealing with it as adults, and telling people who've been dealing with abuse, you know, in every kind of way, from every capacity and from every different direction. So you got a lot of people dealing with it, and it's coming at them in different waves. So, and I'm one of the person that I always try to do what I can to try to force that wave back out to sea to keep, because that wave is heavy for some people. Some of them can't take the pressure of that wave. So, you know, I want to be a buffer between it.
And it is a weight. And you sit down and you look at that ex-husband was a engineer,
Wow.
Wyandotte Chemicals, right?
Wow.
Right? Little
Mm.
tie, little whatever, doing his
Hmm.
thing. But he was an abuser. But
Yeah.
he had been abused, you know, so abusers.
Oh, see, so he's one of the ones that really perpetuated it.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, from what he went. Yeah. See, a lot of people
mm-hmm.
perpetuate that from their experience. You know, it's a cycle,
Yep.
you know. And
Yep.
yeah, but I was, like I said, I went through it and stuff like that in terms of, like, you know, watching my mom get abused, but I wasn't gonna turn around and do that kind of stuff because I mean, I know everything is a learned behavior, but it's still a choice whether or not you want to be involved in that
Right.
yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's still a choice, you know. So
But you made that choice.
that's right.
Moreover,
That's right.
the bigger conversation here, Terrence, is that not only did you come through it, you're now changing other people's lives who
Exactly.
don't know how
Hmm.
to get through it.
That's right. That's like
Okay.
that's that buffer I was talking about. You know, being a
Hmm.
buffer for that weight.
Hmm. So, how do we get your books and stuff? Are you? What are the
Well,
names?
my books are still out. Touched is still available. I'm getting ready to re-release Touch soon. Now that the film Abuse is coming out, I'm going to re-release the Touch book, only because when I do my screenings and my panel discussions, I want to be able to have something for people to purchase and take with them. So I'm about to re-release the Touch book, or just keep printing them up for when I do my events. I can just keep printing them up,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and be able to just sell them that way. So um, that's going to be available. In terms of my book, Guilty by Reason of Arrest, that's still out there as well. So if you look up Terrence TYKEEM and look up my books, you can get those books.
Okay.
And in terms of the film, in terms of the Abuse film, we're in negotiations with Lionsgate and two other distributors right now to have the film out by like February, mid to late February, no later than early March.
Well,
So
March is Women's Month.
yeah, it's when exactly. Yeah, March is when, and it's funny because, you know, we talked about that about pushing it to the March just for that particular reason, and because it'll tie us into a lot of the events that's going on, and it'll tie the film into that as well. And there's a bunch of organizations. We're trying to find more organizations that we can piggyback with, and I'm sure you have some. Please send them to Wyoming because I want to piggyback with some of that organizations to
Mm-hmm.
tie this film into to give it more of a of a wider platform. So I want to tie into some of the organizations, because the organizations are the ones you want to get with,
Right.
because they're doing the heavy lifting work in these on these social justice and on these abuse issues and things like that. Those organizations are doing the heavy lifting. So you always want to get with those organizations that's already doing the work. You don't want to say, okay, I want to just do it. No, get with the people who are already doing the work, because they have the like-minded ears of the people that you want to get to.
And I think one of the things that we don't even deal with is I don't think that as a people we don't broaden our net,
Yeah.
right? We need to broaden our net. And there are so many people who are already doing things. Sometimes you end up saying, oh, I didn't know you were doing that. Oh, let
Mm-hmm.
me call you about it. And
Mm-hmm.
because we're so insular too often, or we're in
Yeah.
silos, that,
Yeah.
we need to start bringing all of these pieces together so that everybody has access to that information.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And the bad part about it is that you just said the right word, bringing things together. I mean, because for whatever reason, man, everybody feel like they're in competition with each other, and they don't want to bring these pieces together. So, like with the strength in numbers, every other group of people, man, has realized that it is strength in numbers. But for whatever reason, we got that crabs in a barrel mentality, man. And it's not about that. It's about really combining your resources, because like the strength in numbers is every bit of the truth.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, we don't understand that. And that's what's really holding everything back right now.
Well, I think that what is it that a closed fist never gets fed?
No, a closed mouth. Yeah, you're right. Listen, a
So
closed mouth
I
don't
knew
get
it was
fed.
something closed. Okay, there you go.
Closed
Thank
mouth.
you
Listen, a
for the
closed
correction.
mouth. That's every bit of the
Yeah.
truth. That's been one of my sayings for a long time.
Yes, and it's huge.
That's
It's
right. That's
huge.
right.
And if we open up our mouths and open up our hearts
That's right.
and just, in conversation, we go to all these events and stuff and we have these, little light, airy conversation. The reality is that we should just start asking people, what are you doing about that? This is what I'm doing, and being straight up
Mhm.
about it. How can we
That's right.
partner? We
That's
really
right.
need to. We really need
Yeah.
to. Our community needs help on
Yeah.
so
Big time.
many different levels,
Yeah.
from our educational system to, and just even being in a school. There are a lot of schools that are not doing what they need to do because children
Hmm.
are being abused at home. And we
That's
know
right.
that they're abused at home because they come and you can see it. You can see it
That's
in
right.
how they behave. You can see it, the actual scars from it.
Hmm.
We already know that it's happening.
Hmm.
We have to make a difference. And I don't know if it's the Teachers Association or it's fraternities or sororities. It has to be that we all come together from whatever the aspects are to have these conversations to change lives, because if broken people hurt broken people. And so if you have young people who are broken, what do you think they're going to do? They're fighting in school, they're having all these other issues, and people don't want to deal with what they're
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
because it's a result of that.
Well, you got to realize something too. Like when people go through things, you know, it's going. I mean, it's going to affect each person differently. The bad part about it is that a lot of people let it affect them to the point where as though they feel like they got to take that out on somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that I think that's really happening to like most people of color. And it's not just black people, it's not just Asians, it's not just Hispanics. I mean, it's people from all walks of life, but for whatever reason, people of color tend to perpetuate the same negative impacts that they've had in their lives. They allow that to impact people that they come in contact with. So I'm the type of person, I just really want to focus on really telling the stories that I've been telling and really giving people an outlet to be able to just really focus on what they're doing in their lives. And this it's really about just really giving people hope at this point. And I want to use my films, my music, and my TV projects to really just give people hope, because right now we're in trouble right now, man. And the bad part
Yeah.
about it is that they got this thing called alternative facts that these people have made up and stuff like that. And
Right, right,
it's,
right,
I mean,
right.
it's crazy, man. I mean, there's no such thing as that, but they done made that up because they know there's a group of
Delusional.
people.
Mhm,
Is that who people that they can manipulate with that, and they're
mhm.
not doing it for to help nobody. They're making up all that kind of stuff just so they can hurt people.
Yes.
Bottom line,
And but somebody said to me a long time ago, hurt people hurt people.
that's right. That's every
Right?
bit of the truth. That's right.
Hurt people
That's right.
hurt people.
And that's
I
every bit of the truth.
It is. And I think one of the things that's really important, this whole show, you're welcome to come back anytime. I love what you're doing, and we want to be as supportive as we can be. We have, like I said, we have the newsletter. Send us links if you have things that you want
Yeah,
people
most
to go
definitely.
check on,
Most definitely.
or you want to interview, whatever. We're here to support you.
Listen, thank you for having me, Marsha. Listen, I think I did your show like several years ago.
100 years ago.
Yeah.
It's when I first started out, though.
Yeah, when you first started, yeah. So yeah, but it's crazy, man. But you got to be able to focus on this kind of stuff. You got
We
to be able to tell the story.
we have to tell the story, and you're telling the story. I see she's, for the last couple of minutes, we're going to run this. Brother, I want to thank you so much. Terrence, you are wonderful.
Thanks a lot,
Thank
Marsha.
you for this, and let's stay in touch, brother.
You can count on that, and welcome me back anytime. I'm always here
Okay, well, I'm here for it.
for sure. And I hope to see you at when we're doing the release party down there. So I want you to be there.
Where?
We're doing one in DC as well.
Okay, so I'll talk with what's her name?
Wyoming.
Wyoming. I'll talk to
Yeah.
Wyoming. Get she because she's full of information. She's been very helpful and very kind and patient with me.
Okay, cool. All
All right, baby. We're gonna run this for you before we get off.
right, thanks a lot.
Okay. Take care,
Bye
brother.
bye. All
Bye.
right.
Handle your business. Handle your business. Don't give up. Just keep